Hi Class 3, hope you're all keeping well and safe. Here I am back with our follow-up book, which is called The Outlaw, Varjak Paw. Shall we read the synopsis, the blurb on the back, see what it says? So it says, Varjak Paw is back. There are 7 skills that give a cat great power, and Varjak Paw knows them all. He can fight, he can hunt, he can walk unseen. There's just one problem. Sally Bones, the thin white cat who leads the city's deadliest gang, also knows the skills. She knows even more than Varjak does. And now she's coming to get him. Oh, right, okay. So I hope this is as good as the last one because I really enjoyed the last one. Right, let's get this. So number 1, chapter 1, where are we? Chapter 1. It was winter in the city. The sun was sinking fast. Night was drawing in. Snow whipped down from the sky in icy flakes. It was too cold for snow to melt, so it covered everything in white. The rooftops, the drain pipes, the back streets and alleys. A silver blue cat with amber eyes raced forwards through the streets. His name was Varjak Paw, and he was running as fast as he could. He loved being out in the city. He'd grown up indoors, a pet in a house. He'd always dreamed about living free and wild, and now his dreams were coming true. Beside him ran his friends, a spiky black and white cat called Holly, a shaggy chocolate brown one named Tam, and a huge black dog called Cludge. They knew the city better than Varjak. He was still learning how to survive on the streets, and winter was harsh. Food was scarce. They'd been hunting all day with no luck. Now, they were going into the city dump, hoping to find some scraps the people had thrown away. They swerved into the alleyway. A rusting iron gate loomed up before them, rattling in the wind. It was the entrance to the dump. Far away on some main road, traffic rumbled and roared. But here, the cars were all broken down. Their windscreens were smashed, their tyres slashed. Fragments of shattered glass stuck out of the snow. They could rip a cat's paws to pieces. So this is it, thought Varjak, the city dump. Can't we keep hunting, he said. I've got a good feeling we're going to catch a mouse, we've got to. I wish we would, panted Tam. I'm starving. Me too, said Holly. But we haven't seen a mouse since the snow started. They must be hiding from the weather. Or from her, she shivered. Above their heads, through swirling snow, an amber light flickered into life. Day was almost done. Nightfall was close. Holly and Tam shifted about on their paws. Even Cludge seemed nervous. Let's get it over with, said Holly, her voice like a crunch of gravel. We don't want to be here after dark. Tam looked up at the rusty gate and shuddered. Why don't you and Varjak go first? I'll stay here and keep lookout. Even if I have to eat last, she said, sounding very noble. Holly rolled her mustard-coloured eyes. I might have known. Fine, come on, Varjak. At least we know who's scared and who's not. I'm not scared, protested Tam. It's just that we need a lookout. What if she comes? It's actually braver to go last. It's actually... She paused and scratched her head. Actually, I think I'll come with you. Oh, no, you don't, laughed Holly. You're right, we need a lookout, and congratulations, Tam. You've got the job. Tam's big round eyes went huge with fright. But, it's all right, said Varjak. He could see Holly was joking, but he could also see that Tam was not. I'll be lookout. I'll stand guard with Cludge. Tam's fur settled. Thanks, Varjak. I'll save you some food if we find any. Holly and Tam crept forwards through the snow, past hulking smashed-up cars, picking their way over shattered glass towards the gate. Chains and padlocks hung from it, clattering in the wind. But they found gaps, cracks, ways through that people would never ever think of. In moments, Varjak and Kludge stood alone. Thud, thud, thud. Varjak's fur prickled. He thought he could hear something behind him, a cat's tail thumping. Something was moving, something was watching him. He turned. He stared into the darkness at the top of the alley. No one was there. Just snow, rubbish, plastic bags, scraps of paper swirling in the wind. Thud. Oh, of course. Now he knew what that noise was. His own heart thumping in his chest. He breathed out, feeling foolish. Tam had made him jumpy. He turned to Kludge. The big dog wagged his tail. Varjak, he barked. Varjak, scared of rubbish. He stretched out a huge paw and swatted away a scrap of paper. Not be scared, he panted. Kludge here. Varjak smiled. Kludge always made him feel better. After all, what was there to be afraid of when they had a massive dog on their side? Even Holly and Tam were a bit nervous around Kludge, still getting used to the idea of being friends with a dog. Only Varjak had seen the truth, that for all his strength and size, Kludge sometimes felt as scared and lonely as any cat. How about you, Kludge? He asked. Are you okay? Kludge cold, said the dog. Kludge hungry, but Kludge happy with Varjak. His tail wagged again, and Varjak felt glad he'd stayed out there, after all. He didn't want to go into the dump anyway. What was the best they could find? Some mouldy old rubbish? That was no way for a cat to live. He could do better than that, especially if he had used his powers. For Varjak knew a secret that gave a cat great power. It was called the Way. There were 7 skills in the Way. He'd learned them in his dreams, where he'd visited the ancient land of Mesopotamia, and he'd been trained by a warrior cat, Jalal. He settled down by a car and closed his eyes. He remembered Jalal's voice, coming at him through the Mesopotamian night. The first skill is open mind. So Varjak cleared his mind of thoughts. He made himself calm and still, opening to everything. Now the second skill, awareness. He let his senses flow out into the city. He could smell the rubbish rotting and felt sure there'd be nothing in the dump anyone would want to eat. But his sensitive whiskers also felt a tiny shift in the air currents. Something was moving, not rubbish, something warm and near. A mouse. It was a juicy mouse, hidden just behind that car. His mouth watered, his belly growled. This was what he'd been searching for all day. He imagined crunching into the mouse, sinking his teeth in, savouring every bite. No, don't get carried away. Focus. Hunting was the third skill. When you stalk your prey, you become your prey. You make it part of yourself. Now he was ready, his tense body tight, his muscles coiled, and Varjak sprang forwards, a silver blue blur diving under a car towards his prey. And wham! There it was beneath his paws. Fresh mouse, the finest food in all the world. Holly slouched back through the gate. There's nothing good in there, she sighed. It's disgusting, but hey, what's that you've got? What does it look like? He grinned. Oh, Varjak, you found one. Her mustard-coloured eyes lit up. She licked her lips and then stopped. But how are we going to share it out between us all? Good. What you're going to do, said a brash, loud voice behind them, is give that mouse to us. I wonder who it is. Okay, so that's the start of the Outlaw Varjak Paw. Looks like there could be more mischief and toil and trouble ahead. I will read chapter 2 tomorrow. Take care, miss you all. Bye-bye.